Well, the chase is certainly on. Wizards of the Coast has recently just introduced a first look into the Lord of the Rings Universes Beyond crossover that is due to happen for Magic the Gathering. And let me tell you, they added in something so incredibly flavorful that it's almost too meta. Welcome on in Dragonfolk. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I know I am. My name is Alex, and you are all here with me in the Dragon's Lair. I love to see all of you here. I just wanted to say a big shout out to the community. I hope you guys are all doing great. And frankly, we're going up in the ranks as far as subscribers go. So you guys are really killing it. And every single day we grow and grow more as a community. So big shout out to you guys. Hopefully we can do a little giveaway here soon as we reach towards 1,500 subscribers. So pretty amazing for you guys. So golf claps for you. Congratulations. You did great. So now let's move on to the big news that the Magic the Gathering community has just received in regards to the first look for Lord of the Rings, the Middle-earth set that is going to be coming out in Magic the Gathering. I believe sometime it's in May, like late May, early June. So keep your eyes out for that. There's going to be a lot more information in regards to it. I won't go over a lot of the details for it, but I wanted to talk about the big hype that is for this set, which is none other than the Rings of Power. As we had seen previously, I don't believe I did a video on it, but there was a picture of the product, what the box is going to look like for the collector's box for this set. And on that box is none other than a little blurb that says contains serialized ring cards. Now, we all kind of assumed that the One Ring was going to have an actual card in here and that it would probably be serialized because that just sounds like the fun, flavorful thing to do. But actually, there are 3 other Rings of Power in here along with the One Ring. The One Ring is a card that you can find in the set in whatever booster, right? So on and so forth. And also, in these collector boosters, there are going to be an interesting amount of cool new Soul Ring variants. These cards are all going to be Soul Ring, but they did it in a very flavorful way. And I'm really, really excited to see all of these come into the play. I mean, these are really, really cool cards. These are the Rings of Power. As we know, back in the story of Lord of the Rings, there were 3 Rings of Power given to the elves, 7 Rings of Power given to the dwarves, and 9 given to the humans. And then, of course, there's the One Ring, the one and only. So with these rings that were given out to the races of Middle-earth, we see these here in a elvish language and in their own little special art. All of these are a soul ring for all intents and purposes. It is what it is. But these cards are also coming serialized and can only be found serialized in this form. Also non-foil serialized, I believe, in the collector boosters only. And they're all going to be in Elvish. The language is in Elvish, so it's pretty awesome. There will be 300 serialized cards for the Elven version of this Soul Ring, 700 serialized cards for the Dwarven version of the Soul Ring, and 900 serialized cards for the human version of the Soul Ring. All of them, again, being in Elvish and doing the exact same thing, but just having a serialized number. We had seen serialized cards pop up more and more in the Brothers War, a recent set that came out for Magic the Gathering, and it proved to be pretty good. I mean, a lot of the market still is really enjoying these serialized cards where they can find them, so it's certainly a great place to look and a great chase card to pull if you're opening these collector booster boxes. On top of that, all of these serialized cards do have non-foil, non-serialized versions of themselves as well. These are also limited, which is really, really cool because normally we don't get the print run of what the basic, like whatever version of it is. But even though this is still non-foil, it is still in Elvish. It is still one of these special cards. So it also is getting a limited printing. The non-foils of all these cards are going to be getting essentially what they would be in a serialized, but you multiply them by 10. There will be 3,000 Elvish, 7,000 Dwarf, and 9,000 human variants in non-foil. So there's still less than 10,000 of these soul rings in any one variant, which still proves to be a pretty awesome chase card, even if you don't get them serialized. So very cool to see. I'm very excited that they're really pushing this limited product, this true collector product in these sets. But I wouldn't have made an entire video on this if it were not to talk about the One Ring, the one and only true power in the land of Middle-earth, the One Ring to rule them all. This was announced alongside all of its serialized counterparts. The One Ring in Elvish, that is a 1-of-1 serialized card. That's right. There's only ever in the existence of this set going to be one of this card. There will never be another. And I'm sure this was meant as a meta move by Wizards of the Coast. There's a lot of really awesome minds that work there, and they really are tying in a lot of the flavor of these Universes Beyond sets and really pushing that forward to give the player an experience that they may be very familiar with. Now, the One Ring is a card that is being printed in the main set. It is a card that I think a lot of these cards in the set are going to interact with in a way, which is, I think, really cool. But this specific serialized card is a 1-of-1. It will be in any one of the hundreds of thousands of collector booster packs that are available. It can only be found in collector booster packs, and more importantly, you can only find it in English collector booster packs. So it's not going to be in any of the other ones. You know, if you buy a Japanese collector booster, it's not going to be in there. It will only be available in English collector boosters. So that is where the hunt is going to be starting. But I just want everybody to take some time here, right? Take a little bit of a sit down. I'm not going to sit down, but you guys can all sit down. We're going to talk about the flavor behind this. There is one of these cards available at all times. We already have people speculating all over Twitter, all over Reddit, about how much this card is going to cost if it is ever pulled. We're talking upwards of 5 to 6 figures this card is going to go for. Maybe even more. Some are even speculating $1 million, which I don't think it'll get that high, but because not even like Alpha Black Lotuses really reach that much, but we're really looking at something that is very, very, very rare, and a lot of collectors are going to want this. But what is the meta behind all of this? Well, I want you to think if you were in the Shire, right? And you were in the situation where you had the One Ring. You knew it was evil. You knew it was something so precious to so many people in this world, and that people would do anything. They may even kill for this ring. And then you have it. And there's one thing you can do to make sure that this is never something that is fought over ever again. And it's to destroy it. Or you can keep it forever in secret. Never tell anybody that you ever have it. And then on your 111th birthday, you can give it away to somebody, or you can sell it off to the highest bidder and make a whole bunch of money for your family. Maybe you sell it immediately because it's too hot of an item and you don't want that on your hands. You'd rather not be a target for thieves and, you know, criminals and so on and so forth, or even just people who are trying to like take this from you. It is a very, very powerful thing to have, especially even considering in our modern day where a lot of people are struggling with money. So if this card, this one card, could even get 5 figures high as far as price goes, that's a lot of money. And I do believe that a lot of people will do some pretty downright evil things for that kind of money. So what does somebody do? Do they keep it? Do they sell it? Do they trade it into their LGS for, you know, a lifetime supply of free cards at any point they wish? How does that all work? Well, let me tell you what I think I'd do. And this is, I think a lot of people are having a ha funny moment with this. I certainly am the same way. I do genuinely think that if I, for any reason, got my hands on this card and pulled it from a pack, I, for one, would tell nobody, because you just don't tell people when you do that, right? It's like winning the lottery. You don't go around just screaming to the internet that you won the lottery and that you have hundreds of thousands of dollars now. You don't do that. But what I want to do is I would love to reenact this Middle Earth experience. I would love to find an active volcano and drop this card in it, if I ever got it. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, right? Like, oh, but that's a, this is a game piece, and like there could be somebody out there who really, really wants this and is like going to pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. I will die on my bed with no regrets, knowing that I destroyed the One Ring. And I think that is such a power move that what I get from that going forward in life is going to be so much more worth it than the minuscule amount of money that I would be getting for it at the time in which I sell it, if I come across this card at all. So I'm very interested to hear from all of you, right? And I really want to see where our community stands, because I know a lot of people are in a lot of situations. We talked about this in a previous video when we came into serialized cards with the Brothers War, about what you would do if you were to like destroy these serialized cards, what people would do for the remaining scraps that are there for these serialized cards. If you knew, this is my question for all of you here in the comments, if you knew that you were getting this card, or you pulled this card from a collector pack after just cracking a random one you bought from Walmart, if you pulled this card, what would you do? What would be your next steps? Would you fulfill the destiny of the ring and throw it into the fires of Mount Doom? Or would you hide it and keep it secret, keep it safe until you're ready to unleash it into the world? I'd be very curious to see what the Magic the Gathering community, as well as just our community here in general, these dragon folk of mine, would love to hear from all of you. I'd love to see what you guys have in store, what your minds are thinking of when you first see something like the One Ring, the one of one. And the cool part about all this is that it's not like you're destroying a game piece, right? There is no way, unless a 12-year-old gets this card, which a lot of people are speculating, that some child gets a hold of this card and doesn't know what they have, that this card will never be put into a deck. The actual card, the One Ring, is available in a base version, non-serialized, in several different borders throughout the other ways that you can get cards from this set, right? Draft boosters, set boosters, collector boosters. You can buy all of those, and there's still going to be the card available. But the one of one, One Ring, the only serialized version of the One Ring, has a chance of being destroyed. And I think that's very poetic. I think that's something that I wonder whether or not Wizards of the Coast thought about when they made something like this. I'm certain they did, because this just further proves how much this wonderful nerd community of ours can all think together and come up with different situations like this in a real world scenario. The One Ring is about to enter our own universe, and it's up to us what we do with it. So again, let me know in the comments down below what you guys would do if you pulled the one of one, One Ring. And while you're down there, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you didn't like the fact that I would destroy the One Ring, don't get me wrong, I'd make a whole video about it, be a nice spectacle. I think we'd all have a fun time watching it. And let me know if you'd unsubscribe from the channel if I did something like that, because I feel like a lot of you would get a pretty big kick out of watching that. Some of you guys are sick like me, and I know that for sure. So again, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And you can also check out our Patreon in the description down below, as well as a channel membership here if you wish to support the channel in a more monetary sense, but it's absolutely not necessary. I do also hope to get a merch store up here pretty soon. So if any of you guys are interested in merch, make sure to let me know in the comments down below as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I again do truly appreciate your support, and I will see you all at the Shire. Nerd out.